I married the man I deeply love, and finally we became a married couple that I've always dreamt of. And to top it all, we're even holding a wedding ceremony that I've always dreamt of. Being blessed by so many people and being able to marry the one I love. I was sure my parents in heaven would also be happy. That's what I thought. But I had no idea about the tragedy that was awaiting me. I will never forgive them for ruining everything. I am going to get back at them. My name is Mary. I got proposed to by Thomas, my boyfriend who's 2 years older, and got married at the age of 27. I lost my father when I was very young, and my mother passed away due to illness 2 years ago. Thomas was the one who supported me both physically and emotionally when I was at my lowest. We got married on the anniversary of our 2.5 years of dating and started a blissful newlywed life. Due to my husband's busy work schedule, we decided to have the wedding ceremony when things calmed down. On my husband's days off, we went to the wedding venue and started preparing for our wedding. We had the date of our ceremony fixed, and it was time to decide on our guests. I have an aunt and uncle who loved me like their real daughter in place of my deceased parents. After my father's death, they brought me lots of cooked meals since my mother was busy working all the time. They also kept me company when my mother was at work, so I wouldn't feel lonely. Moreover, when my mother fell sick, they shared all her chores so that I wouldn't have to carry the burden all by myself. Even when my mother's condition didn't improve and I was down, it's okay. Your mother is definitely going to get better, so Mary, you also believe and wait for her, okay? My aunt would encourage me gently. No matter how tough or painful things got, I was able to overcome them because I had my aunt and my uncle by my side. That's why I wanted them to sit in the seats designated for family on the bride's side. To convey this, I visited my aunt and uncle's house after a long time. Mary, congratulations on your marriage. My aunt greeted me with tears in her eyes. Thank you, Auntie. So I was thinking, I want you guys to sit in the seats designated for families at my wedding. Is that okay? Of course. Then my aunt brought out a big box. Mary, why don't you open it? Prompted by my aunt, I opened the box in front of me. Inside was a pure white wedding dress. The dress, made of beautiful silk fabric, had a good balance of elegance and cuteness. The décolletage was decorated with vibrant lace. The silhouette was cleverly designed to form a beautiful A-line, and cute flower embroideries were done on the hem. The size was smaller than usual, and it was clear that it was made just for me. I loved the wedding dress at first sight. Huh? Why this? Well, your mother, my sister, she made it. What? Mom did? That wedding dress was handmade by my mother. Despite battling illness, she tirelessly stitched it together day after day, custom fit for my petite frame. She asked my aunt, if Mary ever gets married, please give her this. This is a creation filled with all the love your mother could muster in her final days. Mary dear, you must wear this dress at your wedding. Your mother would be so pleased, said my aunt, her eyes brimming with tears and a tender smile on her face. Her heartfelt sentiment moved me to tears. Thank you, Auntie. You've kept it safe all this time. I promise I'll wear this dress at my wedding. You have to come and see me wear it, I said, clutching my mother's handcrafted wedding dress full of happiness as I returned home. Once home, I hung the dress on my bedroom wall and gazed at it intently. I was determined to make my wedding a success wearing this dress in honor of my mother. That feeling only got stronger as the days passed. Then one day, a disaster struck. When I returned home from work, the wedding dress that should have been hanging on my wall was gone. What? It's gone? Why? I know I left it hanging right here. Panicking, I pulled out my phone to call the cops. Just then, my husband walked in the door. Oh, Mary, what's wrong? Seeing me in tears, he sensed something was amiss. He rushed over to me. My dress is gone. I had it hanging right here. I think someone stole it. My desperate plea elicited an unexpected reaction from my husband. Oh, is that all? Huh? What do you mean? Thomas, do you know something? I asked hesitantly, to which my husband responded with a shocking revelation. Of course I know. My sister said she's getting married soon and wanted to borrow your dress. Huh? Yes, my husband just went ahead and lent my wedding dress to his sister without even asking me. Apparently, when he casually mentioned the dress to her, she asked if she could borrow it, and he readily agreed. That's why she came over to pick it up. She used the spare key from our mailbox. He gave my dress to his sister without my permission. I can't believe this. What the hell? As I raged at my husband, he waved his hands dismissively as if it were no big deal. Our wedding is still a while away, so it's not a problem, right? Besides, my sister was thrilled. She's broke and was happy that she wouldn't have to pay for a dress. Happy that she wouldn't have to pay for a dress. I never gave permission for any of this. I was livid at my husband's blatant disregard for my feelings. That dress was handmade by my mother specifically for me. Didn't I tell you that, Thomas? It's tailored perfectly to my size. Why would you lend it out without asking me first? Calm down. It's not like it's a one-time use thing. You can still wear it, so what's the issue? What's the issue? It's obvious, isn't it? Why would your sister wear my dress before I do? No matter how you look at it, that's just wrong. Even after I explained why I was pissed, my husband refused to apologize or even acknowledge his mistake. To add insult to injury, he let out an exasperated sigh. Mary, you're being too petty. Stop acting like a spoiled child, okay? Spoiled? Being upset about this makes me spoiled? It's something my mother made for me, so it makes no sense for my sister-in-law to be wearing it before me. I'd reached my limits with his irresponsible comments that disregarded my feelings completely. I'm going to your parents' house tomorrow to get the wedding dress back from your sister. Huh? Tomorrow is the day my sister's fiance and his parents are coming to visit our parents' house. Don't interrupt them. Interrupt? You got some nerve. Let me be clear. No matter what anyone says, I have no intention of letting your sister wear that dress. The next day, I took a day off of work to go see my sister-in-law. When I arrived at my in-laws' house, I could hear lively voices from the open front door as I secretly stepped in and listened. Wow, you made this dress yourself? That's amazing, Cynthia. A man's voice, whom I did not know, echoed in the house. Cynthia was my sister-in-law. Cynthia, who was praised, responded in a humble tone. Oh, it's nothing like that. She was flaunting my mother's handcrafted wedding dress to her fiancé and his parents. It took me quite some time, but I really wanted to bring my dream dress to life and have a good wedding, so I ended up making it myself. At that moment, something inside me crumbled with a sound. Her dream dress? What a joke. That's something my mother made with love, just for me. Before I even realized I was already walking towards them, I walked straight through the entrance and seized the wedding dress from my sister-in-law. Then I shouted, "This is mine!" in front of everyone. Everyone present looked at me with surprised expressions. Whoa, Mary, what's happening all of a sudden? My father-in-law asked me in a flustered manner. Ignoring him, I stared sternly at my sister-in-law and revealed the truth to everyone. This dress is something my mother made for me. Your daughter stole it from my room without my permission. What? Everyone present was taken aback, their eyes wide with shock, except for my sister-in-law, who turned pale. Hey, Cynthia, don't tell me that's true. As she was questioned by her fiancé, my sister-in-law desperately tried to resist. No, it's not like that. This is really something I made by myself. Realizing that the talk was going nowhere, I decided to question Cynthia. Why don't you try it on then? Since my mother made it to fit my size, I don't think it will fit you. Yes, my sister-in-law is taller and more toned than I am. There's no way she could pull off this dress, which was made to fit my petite frame. Hey, what are you doing? Finally, my husband appeared. My sister-in-law must have called him. His face was beet red with anger. Mary, what the heck are you doing? Are you trying to ruin my sister's wedding? What are you talking about? If anything, I'm the one who's about to have their wedding ruined. I retorted to my husband, and yet again, he started to blurt out something outrageous. Shut up. We canceled our wedding. So give that dress to my sister. Huh? Canceled? That's right. We canceled it. My husband insisted, pressing his point. My sister said she was strapped for cash, so we gave her the $50K we saved for our wedding as a gift. Since we aren't holding the wedding anymore, we don't need that dress, right? You let someone borrow my dress without asking, then canceled our wedding and also gave away the $50K we saved up. Are you out of your mind? So to him, our marriage was just something of that little importance. I could feel myself falling out of love with my husband. As I fell silent, my husband, misunderstanding that he'd won the argument, opened his mouth again. Now you give that dress back to my sister right away. You have no objections about the cancellation, do you? Fine. Let's get a divorce then. Huh? At my immediate reply, my husband let out a dumbfounded voice. Did you hear me? I said divorce. I don't want to be with someone like you who can trample on people's feelings without a second thought. Hey, wait a minute. Why do we have to get a divorce? That's ridiculous, isn't it? My husband started panicking, flustered. Any sane person would have seen this coming. He's just insane. Well, that settles it. As I tried to leave the place, holding the dress. Hold on a minute. My sister-in-law grabbed the end of the dress with all her might. The dress tore in the process, becoming a pitiful sight. Looking at it, my sister-in-law and husband burst out laughing as if they couldn't contain themselves. Serves you right. This is what happens when you mess with my sister. Yeah, really. If you just quietly lent me the dress, none of this would have happened. You brought this upon yourself, Mary. Tears welled up in my eyes, mixed with anger. My wedding being canceled was fine, but I wanted to keep this dress safe with me for my entire life. And now, because of these worthless people, just then, my sister-in-law's fiancé stood up and slowly muttered, "Guess we're done too." Huh? Everyone was taken aback. Wait, you're joking, right? You're calling off our engagement? Why? In response to my sister-in-law's plea, her fiancé glared at her with a fierce look. Why? It's obvious, isn't it? There's no way I could marry someone who can do nasty things like this with no hesitation. No way! Even his parents seemed to feel the same way, showing quiet anger towards my sister-in-law's actions. Well, no more talk of marriage then. My fiancé and his parents were about to leave. Just then, my sister-in-law burst in frantically, yelling, "Wait a minute! It's absurd to call off the engagement over something like this. Right, Mom and Dad? You guys think so too, don't you?" Despite her pleas to her parents, it was too late. Wait, Dad? Mom, why are you glaring at me? Her father then shouted at her with full force, "Get out, you disgrace." Even my usual strong-willed sister-in-law started sobbing due to this overwhelming force. "You guys are so cruel. This is too much." Stop crying. I don't remember raising a jackass like you. I'm not claiming you, someone who can be this dismissive of others' feelings, as our daughter. But, upon seeing his sister crumbling in tears, my husband stepped in to intervene. "Dad, Mom, calm down. You don't have to blame my sister this much. You too, Thomas." "What? You're no better. How dare you disregard Mary's feelings? Leave this house with Cynthia, you foolish son." Probably never anticipating that he too would be disowned, my husband stood there, mouth agape. Then my mother-in-law came over to me, bowing her head in apology. "I'm so sorry, Mary. We were told that the dress was handmade by our daughter, and we just believed it. No, it's okay, but I can't continue living with Thomas anymore." "That's okay. It's our daughter's fault. You go ahead and live your life without worrying about it." Her words really hit home. My in-laws had always been very kind to me, so I felt a pang of guilt that things have come down to this. But I couldn't stay with Thomas anymore. "Mary, I'm sorry, I really am. We'll have a proper wedding, just don't file for divorce yet." My husband quickly changed his tune the moment he was disowned by his parents. There was absolutely no chance of me getting back together with such a spineless man. "I will live my own life. I can live a happy life without you. Hearing this, my husband collapsed to his knees. After expressing my gratitude to my in-laws, I left their house. I packed my bags and headed to my aunt's house, where she was greatly surprised. However, in the end, she respected my feelings and welcomed me. As for that torn dress, my aunt mended the torn parts, and my mother's dress regained its shine. Afterward, I asked for alimony from my ex-husband, and we divorced. He had been secretly handing the wedding funds to my sister-in-law, so I was able to get a little more alimony. It seems that my husband and sister-in-law have been disowned by their parents, and now they are living together in the house we once shared. My sister-in-law, who had intended to become a housewife after marriage, had already quit her job and was now unemployed. Now my husband was single-handedly covering both of their living expenses. Next time, if I ever get another opportunity to marry someone, I want to make sure to thoroughly assess my partner, and then I will have a wonderful wedding. Of course, wearing my mother's handmade wedding dress.